So we have three cases, all right, in which we can have follicles. Let's just discuss these three. We have viral conjunctivitis, we have chlamydia trachomatis, which is causing trachoma. We have chlamydia trachomatis serotypes T through K, which is causing acute conjunctivitis. Now, let's draw a little flow chart which will help us in differentiating these different types of conjunctivitis. So, you have a patient who has follicles. First thing you have to do in the question stem, if you find follicles anywhere, you have to see the type of discharge. Now, the discharge can either be anyone? It can be mucoid. Secondly, it can be mucopurulent or purulent, right? Mucopurulent slash it can be mucopurulent or it can be purulent. Now, what does this show? In a patient of follicles who has mucoid discharge, it means that our etiology is
bacterial or viral?
No. Mucoid shows that
Viral.
our etiology is specifically, it's a viral etiology, right?
Viral.
So it's a viral conjunctivitis. Now, if it's mucoid, mucopurulent or purulent, it means that our etiology is bacterial in nature.
Bacteria.
Now, we know that there are two causes of bacterial conjunctivitis. In order to differentiate the two, what did we see? We saw the location of the follicles. Now, if the follicles were, they can either be present on two sides, right? We've discussed two sides only. Now, अच्छा ये बताने का मकसद ये नहीं है कि सिर्फ ऊपर होंगे या सिर्फ नीचे होंगे, दोनों palpebral conjunctiva पे हो सकती हैं, लेकिन ज्यादा कहाँ होंगे? That is the important thing. If they are more in the lower palpebral conjunctiva, and secondly, if they are more in the upper palpebral conjunctiva. So, if they are more in the lower palpebral conjunctiva, what will your diagnosis be?
Viral conjunctivitis या chlamydia.
हम तो
D2K.
हम म्यूकोपैरेलेंट की तरफ आ रहे हैं ना, म्यूकोपैरेलेंट बैक्टीरियल एंड नाउ लोकेशन इट इज क्लैमिडिया.
Chlamydia.
Serotypes
D through K. D through K.
Now the important thing, while bacterial conjunctivitis caused by serotypes T through K, it is called acute inclusion conjunctivitis. कहते हैं इसे inclusion conjunctivitis.
Inclusion bodies.
Medium inclusion bodies होती हैं, right? So if there are more in the palpebral conjunctiva, lower palpebral conjunctiva, our diagnosis is acute chlamydial inclusion conjunctivitis. And if they are more in the upper palpebral conjunctiva, then our diagnosis is
Trachoma.
Trachoma.
trachoma, right? So our diagnosis is trachoma. This is a little flowchart which I've used, which is very helpful in diagnosing whether these follicles are in bacterial conjunctivitis, in viral conjunctivitis, and what it. Viral में भी आगे काफी conjunctivitis आते हैं. We will discuss them when we will discuss in our session on viral conjunctivitis. Right? So follicles, first see whether the discharge is mucopurulent or is mucoid. If it's mucoid, then go toward the viral conjunctivitis. जो MCQ में viral conjunctivitis की option है. If it's mucopurulent, then see where the follicles are. If they are more in the upper palpebral conjunctiva, in the context of follicles and a mucopurulent or a purulent discharge, then our case is most likely trachoma. And if in the same patient, follicles with a mucopurulent discharge if the location of the follicles they are more in the lower palpebral conjunctiva. नीचे वाले conjunctiva में ज़्यादा हैं. Then our diagnosis is acute chlamydial inclusion conjunctivitis. So these are important cases which you have to remember. In the patient who has follicles in this conjunctivitis. ट्रकोमा इसकी ट्रीटमेंट काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसकी क्लासिफिकेशन काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसको हम अभी डिस्कस करते हैं. We've done with 2 sets. Our last set is this. We have a crying child who presents to you. He's a neonate. He presents to you in the first month of his life with this. This is what you see on this examination. Symptoms to एक ही बच्चा है. He can there's only one thing he can do, and that is cry. So he's crying. What do you see? क्या नजर आ रहा है इसकी एग्जामिनेशन में आपको?
Discharge.
There is discharge. Now, discharge means that this child, he has conjunctivitis. और कोई डिफरेंशियल आपके ज़हन में आता है? Discharge or fluid or accumulation in the eyelids. Our first differential is conjunctivitis, neonatal conjunctivitis, right? There's one other important differential which we have had a session on. हमने discuss किया. It was related to the lacrimal glands, if you remember. Congenital dacryocystitis, exactly. Okay, that is a very important differential which you have to remember. Congenital dacryocystitis in the इस तरह के बच्चे में, if a patient or a young neonate presents to you with discharge in the eyes, एक तो आपका bacterial conjunctivitis की तरफ जाना चाहिए, and the second is congenital dacryocystitis or nasolacrimal duct obstruction. Now, coming on to this case. Now, if I were to tell you that this case of child, अब neonate, जो classically the definition use होता है neonatal conjunctivitis की और ophthalmia neonatorum, उसमें जो age limit है 1 month की दी है. But let's just say we have 2 cases. This child with discharge in the eyes, he is presenting to you. In our first case, 3 days after birth. And in our second case, the same child is presenting to you 1 week or let's say 10 days after birth. Microbiology आप सबने पढ़ी हुई है. You can already guess the answers. Child who presents to you with 3 days after birth, a conjunctivitis and discharge 3 days after birth, what do you think his diagnosis will be? Ophthalmia neonatorum. Both these children, both these cases, they have ophthalmia neonatorum. Now, हमें ये है कि अगर एक हमारे पास छोटा बच्चा आता है who has discharge in his eyes, we have to rule out the other differentials, including congenital nasolacrimal duct obstruction, etc. All those things. CLD को rule out करने के लिए we have already discussed in another session. We performed the massage and all that. और उसकी वजह से there is exudation or fluid निकलता है nasolacrimal ducts and all that stuff, right? We have confirmed that this child has ophthalmia neonatorum. Now, there are 2 cases. One is a child who presents to you with conjunctival discharge 3 days after birth. And the other is a child who presents to you with conjunctival discharge 10 days after birth. Now, you can already see that there is one important thing different in both these cases. The time of presentation. One is 3 days and the other is 10 days. So, where do you think this infection is coming from? चलो पहले ये बात कर लेते हैं.
Nazaria.
No, not the
Vertical
cause.
transmission.
vertical transmission, right?
During delivery.
This, not urinary tract infection or anything, this is vertical transmission. So the important thing in this case is that both these, this case, that the crying child, he most likely has a vertical transmission. Vertical transmission means that whatever the organism is infecting, whichever organism is affecting his eyes, the organism has reached the eyes when the child was being delivered by a SVD, spontaneous vaginal delivery. That is how he acquired that infection. So there's an important context clue over here, which we have derived from this thing. It is that the mother, because 3 days after birth, we have our history is after birth. Some days मैंने पैदा होने के फौरन बाद उसे हुआ, एक तरफ 3 दिन बाद हुआ, एक दिन 10 दिन बाद. So in cases of ophthalmia neonatorum or neonatal conjunctivitis, there will be a history of UTI/STI in the antenatal period. Antenatal period means that when the mother is pregnant with the child, right? So this is an important context clue that either the mother will have an active infection at the time of delivery, or she will have a history of UTI or STI in the antenatal period. STI/UTI. Now the important thing is the time period. 3 days and 10 days. माइक्रोबायोलॉजी में स्केची किसने देखी हुई है आप में से?
देखी हुई है।
देखी हुई है स्केची?
क्लेमिडिया में जल्दी हो जाता है, मतलब इमीडिएटली आफ्टर बर्थ।
ठीक है, 2 ऑर्गेनिजम्स अब आपके ज़हन में आने चाहिए, बिकॉज देयर इज एन हिस्ट्री ऑफ एसटीआई यूटीआई। अच्छा, कोई पीछे बोल रहा है लेकिन आवाज आपकी बहुत आहिस्ता है, आपका माइक का शायद इशू है, और थोड़ी आपकी आवाज ऐसे बहुत हल्की आ रही है, पता लगता है कोई बोल रहा है लेकिन आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही है, आप माइक ठीक कर लो। सो if there is a history of UTI and STI in a patient, we know that we have to suspect 2 organisms. One is Neisseria gonorrhea and the other is Chlamydia trachomatis T through K. अब 3 दिन बाद कौन सा ऑर्गेनिज्म कराता है और 10 दिन बाद कौन सा ऑर्गेनिज्म कराता है, that is the most important thing you have to remember. So a patient who presents with 3 days after birth, what will your diagnosis be? Neisseria,
Chlamydia.
gonorrhea. No, not chlamydia. Neisseria पहले करवाता है. Okay, this is an important time you have to remember in terms of microbiology, that Neisseria causes an early neonatal conjunctivitis as compared to chlamydia. This is very important. हमारे इस बार prof में एक question आया था. The question was that a 3-day-old child presents to you with conjunctival redness and discharge. This was all there was in the question, and they asked for a diagnosis. अब मेरे कुछ दोस्त काफी अक्लमंद हैं, they are very knowledgeable, you know, बहुत अच्छी तरह पढ़ते हैं, मुझसे ज्यादा पढ़ते हैं, प्रॉफ में 12 13 14 घंटे। उन्होंने क्या किया था, आई के पेपर से पहले एक तो सोता ही नहीं है, दूसरा कोई 4 या 5 घंटे हार्डली सो कर आया था। जब उन भाई ने सवाल देखा ना, उन्होंने डायग्नोसिस में नियोनेटल कंजंक्टिवाइटिस नहीं लिखा, क्योंकि उन्होंने गलती से 3 दिन को 3 महीने पढ़ लिया था। आपने ऐसी गलती कभी नहीं करनी। Whenever you have a child presenting with conjunctival redness and discharge, you have to carefully see the time at which the child is presenting. If it's 3 days after birth, your diagnosis is Neisseria gonorrhea. MCQs में तो पक्का Neisseria gonorrhea. Okay, and 10 days after birth, it's Chlamydia trachomatis. Why? Now that is the important thing. We know that whenever an organism infects, it has an incubation period. यानी कि infection के बाद symptoms कितनी देर में आते हैं? For Neisseria gonorrhea, it's hours to 3 or 4 days. That incubation period. But for chlamydia, it's 5 to 10 days. This is why they have different presentations. So in a patient who has redness and mucopurulent or purulent conjunctival discharge, your diagnosis will be neonatal conjunctivitis or ophthalmia neonatorum. Now you have to see what the time of presentation is. If it's 3 days after birth, you will automatically go towards Neisseria gonorrhea. Why? Because it has a lesser incubation period. And if it's 10 days after birth or a week after birth, we know it's chlamydia. G through K. Why? Because it has a 5 to 10 day incubation period. Now, this was in the case if the child had mucopurulent or purulent discharge. Let's say this child has a mucoid discharge. Mucoid discharge. अब आपको पता है कि neonatal conjunctivitis की vertical transmission होती है, meaning that baby or the child has to acquire the infection during delivery via passage through the vaginal canal, right? So, in a child who has neonatal conjunctivitis and he has mucoid discharge, तो mucoid discharge हमें क्या बताता है? Viral है. So, do you think there is a virus which also causes STIs or UTIs?
Herpes simplex
Herpes simplex.
type 2.
A type 2 causes genital ulcers. That is good. This is the third important case of ophthalmia neonatorum. A neonate presenting to you with mucoid discharge, your diagnosis will be herpes simplex virus. These are the important lines you have to remember. Everything MCQs में आपने ये बात हमेशा याद रखनी है. Everything you need to know, you need to form a diagnosis will be given to you in the MCQ. Neonatal conjunctivitis का कोई भी SCQ MCQ आएगा, you will always be given the type of discharge, you will always be given the incubation period. So this is a table from Parsons, which is very, it's a good summary of the treatment as well as the presentation. You can see that within the first 48 hours, it means that 2 days. So up to 3 days, we have Neisseria gonorrhea. Then herpes simplex virus, it's the only virus which Parsons has listed. Even though it has a longer incubation period, we know that viral conjunctivitis, they do not cause mucopurulent or purulent discharge. That is one important thing which we have to do. And the third is chlamydia trachomatis, third disease, which has a time of onset after 1 week. So based on these 2 or 3 things which you have to remember, you will almost always get this question right. आपको कभी मसला नहीं होगा सवाल हल करने में. If you know that viral conjunctivitis present with mucoid discharge and bacterial with mucopurulent and purulent, you will easily differentiate between the 2. And if you know that the incubation of Neisseria gonorrhea is hours to 3 days and of chlamydia it's 5 to 10 days, then you will be easily able to differentiate whether it's a chlamydial or a gonococcal neonatal conjunctivitis. So this was our third case. Okay, now let's go over the treatments of all these cases. Our first case of acute plenorrhea. Plenorrhea, meaning that there is copious amount of discharge. There is a coincident urethritis and cervicitis. Now, why is this not a chlamydial cervicitis? We discussed, sorry, not cervicitis, chlamydial conjunctivitis secunia. Why is this not a chlamydial conjunctivitis? We've discussed chlamydial conjunctivitis in our second group. So why do you think this is not chlamydial conjunctivitis? Neisseria gonorrhea क्यों है? Follicles, बिल्कुल, exactly. That is the important thing. The important negative is that this patient does not have follicles. And another context clue. Urethritis and cervicitis in females a few days back. Between the urethritis and cervicitis, between the STI or the UTI, there will be a gap of how many days do you think there will be a gap of in a case of Neisseria gonorrhea, considering the incubation period? Of hours to 3 days. What does this mean? This means that in a patient in which you suspect gonococcal conjunctivitis who has an STI, अगर STI होने के कुछ घंटों से लेकर 3-4 दिन बाद के अंदर उससे conjunctivitis हो गया, means that it is a ये पक्की बात है कि it's gonorrheal conjunctivitis because of the incubation period. right? Meaning that he had a cervicitis. Our female patient, she had cervicitis. She was diagnosed with cervicitis 1 day back. All right. And today she presents with blenorrhea. So there's a 1 day history or a 1 day gap between urethritis or cervicitis, the STI, and our conjunctivitis. And we know that 1 day fits the incubation period of Neisseria gonorrhea. So this is Neisseria gonorrhea. If it were to be caused by Chlamydia trachomatis, then the symptoms, they would have a gap of at least how many days?
5 to 10.
5 days. 5 to 10 is the range. There would be optimally a gap of 5 days. That is an important context clue. Okay, how many days after the STI the conjunctivitis developed? So how will you treat this patient? We know that in order to investigate, we do these investigations, which are normally not important. आपसे कोई इतना पूछता भी नहीं है. Treatment is important. The treatment, you have to remember that there are some general measures. Then there are some local measures or local RX, local treatment. Then we have general treatment or general, another word, right word would be systemic treatment. So each organism has its own local treatment and its own systemic treatment. The general measures are all the same. General measures, they include avoidance of touching the eyes, proper hygiene, wiping the eyes with sterile cotton swabs, washing the eyes with sterile water. Local treatment and systemic treatment will include antibiotics, and antibiotics will be based on the culture and sensitivity reports of those scrapings which we took in the investigations. Now we know that some organisms are more susceptible to some drugs. For example, Neisseria gonorrhea. There is one drug which is associated with Neisseria gonorrhea, which we give systemically. It's a 3-axis. Everyone remembers sketchy. It's ceftriaxone. Okay. Ceftriaxone is a drug which we give systemically for Neisseria gonorrhea. For local treatment, we will always start with broad spectrum antibiotics when we do not have our reports of culture and sensitivity. And the important broad spectrum antibiotic is ofloxacin. Ofloxacin is what type of antibiotic?
Ciprofloxacin.
It's ofloxacin. It's the fluoroquinolone.
Fluoroquinolone.
These were the important principles which you have to remember. Similarly, in the case of angular conjunctivitis, we have general measures, we have local measures, we have systemic measures. Now the general measures is the same, but the local measures, they include 2 important drugs, which are very important. आपने याद रखनी है because these are MCQs. Intermarginal strip or maceration of the canthi was our leading clue towards angular conjunctivitis by Moraxella lacunida or Diplobacilli. इनको Diplobacilli conjunctivitis भी कहते हैं इसको. It's another name for this. Diplobacilli. So the important drug in the treatment of Diplobacilli conjunctivitis, number 1 is oxytetracycline. And the second is zinc. Zinc is very important. Zinc पे आपको MCQs आएंगे. ज़्यादा oxytetracycline पे नहीं, zinc पे ज़्यादा, because it's a buzzword. It's a very favorite thing on which MCQs come. Zinc oxide or zinc sulfate. These are the 2 treatments, the 2 ointments which are effective in treatment of angular conjunctivitis. One is oxytetracycline and the second is zinc oxide or zinc sulfate. This is a buzzword, zinc. Zinc is a buzzword. Zinc आपको किसी भी specific case में पता लगे कि treatment है, and you have a history of a patient and the examination history, the typical history of conjunctivitis. Your patient on examination has intermarginal strip redness. He has maceration of the skin at the outer and the inner canthi. And the MCQ, it asks for treatment. You should always look for zinc oxide or zinc sulfate. हमेशा दिया होता है MCQ. All right, this is important to remember. And moving on to our last case, diphtheria and pneumococcus. We will follow the same layout same flowchart. That is general measures, number one. Second is local treatment. The third is systemic treatment. With local treatment, when we do not know the culture, we will start with ufloxacin. Now, the systemic treatment of diphtheria. Diphtheria की treatment में आप क्या कहते हैं?
Anti-diphtheria antitoxins.
Antitoxin, diphtheric antitoxin. तो मैं DAT लिखूंगा इसको. It's not a standardized abbreviation, but to say diphtheria antitoxins, right? This is the specific treatment which you have to remember for diphtheria. For pneumococcus, you can give any of the wide array of drugs. Streptococcus pneumonia के अलावा काफी ज़्यादा drugs काम करती हैं. मुझे इस वक्त याद नहीं आ रही. But the doses and the drugs you have to remember. So this was our case of pseudomembranous conjunctivitis. If we have a case of a young child, a young unvaccinated child who presents to you with pharyngitis and conjunctivitis on examination, there is a pseudomembrane or there's a membrane which can be easily peeled off without bleeding. How will you treat this patient? You will give him diphtheric antitoxin. Similarly, if you have a patient of pseudomembranous conjunctivitis who is an adult, जिसकी vaccination history question में नहीं दी गई भी, pharyngitis नहीं है coincident, you will suspect pneumococcus and you will treat accordingly. This was our first set. Moving on to our second set, the tail of follicles. Viral conjunctivitis की treatment क्या है? When we will discuss when we will go towards viral conjunctivitis. Other conjunctivitis is chlamydia. Both are caused by chlamydia, right? One is serotypes T through K, and the other is A, B, C. One is trachoma, and the other is acute inclusion conjunctivitis. But how will we treat acute inclusion conjunctivitis? वही किस्सा कहानी हम दोबारा चलाएंगे. Our general measures include hand hygiene, not touching the eyes, sterile swab, washing with sterile saline, etc. Our local treatment and our systemic treatment will include drugs. What important class or group of drugs is important for the treatment of chlamydia?
Tetracyclines and macrolides.
Tetracyclines. Tetracycline is the word everyone is looking for. आपसे बाकी sensitivities नहीं पूछी जाएंगी. Pharmacology की basis में you have to remember that tetracycline is important for the treatment of chlamydial conjunctivitis. Macrolides में दूसरी कौन सी आ जाती है important, that is azithromycin. So tetracycline and macrolides, azithromycin and tetracycline की class में कोई भी आ जाएगा. You have to remember this. For chlamydia trachomatis, first I told you guys to read the Fisto classification because it's very important. Then we will discuss the treatment. So this, I have here the Fisto classification with me. Look at this. T is for trachoma and F is the classification. T, F, I, S, T, and finally O. Fisto. This is the classification. In this case, which I presented to you of chlamydia trachomatis causing trachoma, this is only one. These are only two signs of the whole classification. इसके अलावा भी signs के साथ patient present कर सकता है. What are those signs? Here they are. Our first stage, Fisto is a staging system, a classification system, right? So the first is trachoma follicular. You have to remember this: trachomatous inflammation follicular. Follicle means that there will be presence of 5 or more follicles in the upper tarsal conjunctiva. This is the important thing which you have to remember: presence of upper tarsal conjunctival follicles. Because this is very more or less pathognomic. किसी और conjunctivitis में, as we've seen, जिसमें follicles हों, in any of the other conjunctivitis, the follicles are present in a numerous or greater quantity in the lower palpebral conjunctiva. If they are present in the upper palpebral conjunctiva, it means that it is most likely trachoma. This was our first stage, the follicular. The second is intense inflammation, which we've just seen. It means that we are not able to appreciate the normal vasculature. जब हम evert कहते हैं upper lid को, when we evert the upper lid, we see all these vessels. these branching vessels. If you're not able to see them, it means that there is intense inflammation. And if that intense inflammation, it obscures more than 1/2 of the normal vessels, this is stage TI, intense inflammation. Our third stage is that of scarring, which means that there are white lines present or white scars, just as you saw over here. In this case, we were not able to appreciate the follicles, but we know that we are not able to see the conjunctival vessels. We're not able to see the conjunctival vessels, and we see scarring. We see bands of fibrous tissue. So this is the third stage, the trachomatis scarring. Visible white lines, visible white bands in the tarsal conjunctiva. Now moving on, you will see that these three, the first three, follicular, intense, and scarring, the FISTO, the FIS of the FISTO, they focus on the upper palpebral conjunctiva. The last, the T and the O, they focus on the cornea. What happens is that if there is enough scarring इतनी ज़्यादा हो जाए अंदर की तरफ, so there can be an abnormality of the lid margins, an abnormality which will cause trichiasis. अब trichiasis क्या है और वो abnormality क्या है? What is trichiasis and what is the abnormality? Now, there is an abnormality due to scarring in which the eyelids, they are turned inwards. So you have to remember this, inward turning of the eyelids. हमने eyelids पे lecture किया था. We have had our session on eyelids, and we know that inward turning of the eyelids, it's called which type of tropion? Entropion, right? It's entropion. So entropion causes rubbing of the eyelashes against the cornea. Okay, अंदर की तरफ turn हो गया lid margin. So the eyelashes, they are rubbing against the cornea. This rubbing of the eyelashes against the cornea, it is called trichiasis. And if there is enough trichiasis, and if there is constant irritation of the cornea, what will happen? A corneal ulcer may develop. And after a corneal ulcer heals, a corneal opacity will develop. And that is the last stage of the FISTO classification, in which we have a corneal opacity. So this classification is important. You have to remember the FISTO classification. So in the treatment, one thing we've discussed the FISTO classification. इस पे आपसे सवाल पूछा जाएगा, इस पे आपसे SQ आ जाएगा, ये बार-बार में पूछते हैं. How will you classify trachoma? You will classify it according to the FISTO classification. How will you treat trachoma? Trachoma में we can treat with we follow these three guidelines. यही काम हम करेंगे. General measures, local treatment, systemic treatment, etc. But the World Health Organization has made an acronym for this. It's called the SAFE strategy. What does it stand for? किसी को पता है?
Surgery.
S is for surgery. Surgery for what?
Trichiasis or
trichiasis, right? The surgery is for trichiasis. The SAFE in S stands for surgery for trichiasis. The A in SAFE, it stands for
antibiotics.
Antibiotics. The F stands for
facial cleanliness,
hygiene. ठीक है? Now उन्होंने F के confuse करने के लिए कि F से I में क्या relation बनता है, तो they added F. It's facial cleanliness. And the fourth E से क्या बनता है? Environmental पे क्यों उन्होंने focus किया?
Transmission.
Trachoma is a disease of the poor. जो गरीब ममालिक है वहाँ पे ज़्यादा पाया जाता है. पाकिस्तान में as such इतना नहीं है. It's present more in हरी ममालिक. जिस तरह TB है, tuberculosis. The same is the case with trachoma. So these are the important things which you have to write in treatment. According to World Health Organization, it's a safe strategy. Safe strategy means that surgery for trichiasis, antibiotics, facial cleanliness, and environmental hygiene. Antibiotics कौन सी होंगी? We've discussed already tetracycline, azithromycin, according to the sensitivity, culture and sensitivity report of the organism. Now there are a few things which I want to discuss in the last 3 minutes. This chlamydia trachomatis acute inclusion conjunctivitis is also known by another name. One name, एक नाम तो हमने discuss कर लिया, that is acute chlamydial inclusion cervicitis. The other name, which is a buzzword, which is very much loved by examiners, is swimming pool conjunctivitis. You have to remember this. This is a buzzword. This is a buzzword. Swimming pool conjunctivitis. It's a simple MCQ. आपसे सिर्फ MCQ में इतना पूछ लीजिएगा. Swimming pool conjunctivitis is also called, is another name for, and you have to remember it's another name for acute chlamydial conjunctivitis. Remember this. This is an important buzzword. So one buzzword, important buzzword, one important buzzword we've discussed is swimming pool conjunctivitis. And एक और buzzword भी है, but before that, we move on to the last case, इसकी treatment. Now, how will you treat this child? So Neisseria gonorrhea, what will be the treatment of this child? Neisseria gonorrhea में हम क्या ड्रग देते हैं ट्रीट करने के लिए? What is the drug जो भी हमने डिस्कस भी की थी?
Ceftriaxone.
Ceftriaxone. ठीक है, ceftriaxone. And for the treatment of chlamydia, we've discussed drug is either a tetracycline or macrolide. So azithro or any mycin, azithromycin, if you call it, azithro / tetra. There's an important thing which you have to remember, that in 50% of cases, there can be a co-infection with both Neisseria gonorrhea and chlamydia trachomatis. अब आपके पास एक पेशेंट आता है, छोटा बच्चा, तो the mother says that he presents to you at the 8th day of his life. Mother says that कि तीसरे दिन इसको होना शुरू हो गया था. You cannot be sure that it's a Neisseria gonorrhea because of the early start, but you cannot be sure whether there's an absence of chlamydia. So the point being that in 50% of cases, there's a co-infection by both Neisseria gonorrhea and chlamydia trachomatis. The practical implication is that you have to treat both. Neonatal conjunctivitis है किसी patient को, even if your diagnosis is Neisseria conjunctivitis, Neisseria gonorrhea, you will treat both. Even if your diagnosis is chlamydia trachomatis, you will treat both. And this is important. You have to remember this, that co-infection occurs in 50% of the cases, and whatever you have diagnosed, you will treat for both these diseases. Now, there are two things which I want to, मैं आपसे भी time कम है, मैं आपसे next time पूछूंगा, you have to search them on your own. One is called the Arndt's line. Second is Herbert Pitts. The third बल्कि तीसरी हो जाएंगी, Panis.